What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the spot where we kick back and react to all kind of different things. Alright, so what we got going on today? We're about to get into a Christmas-themed food theory. Matt Patty's at it again. Last time it was cookies. This time it's I made ice cream out of my Christmas tree. Why does he want to turn his Christmas tree into, like, everything? Alright, well, let's go ahead and check this out. See how unsuccessful he is in this, I'm guessing. But let's go.
Hello, my name is Matthew Patrick, and I'm addicted to eating my Christmas tree.
No, Matthew, no!
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, where today you're in for a treat. A treat. A tree treat? Get it? If not, let me explain what's going on here. Almost 3 years ago to the day, I learned that most Christmas trees are edible. They're non-toxic. In other words, eating the pieces and parts of them shouldn't kill you. And that was some great news since, I don't know about you, but I get kinda sad seeing a bunch of shriveled up evergreens laid out on tree lawns at the end of the holiday season. So I asked myself the question, why just toss them when you can nosh them? And thus,
or better yet, just get a plastic tree like we do. That way you don't have to worry about throwing out a dead tree and being sad about it. Just pack it up, wait for the next year.
Started my 3-year personal mission on this channel to figure out a way to eat my Christmas tree. Year 1, yeah, we didn't really do a whole lot with that one. I brewed some tea with pine needles, nibbled some tips, gnawed some bark. Didn't really work out all that well.
Oh, it's so good. It's all so delicious. Just a theory.
While we had certainly sampled some of the tree, we were a long way from actually doing anything actually edible with it. It was also immediately clear that the hardest part of dealing with this challenge was gonna be the main part of the tree, the heartwood or the xylem. You know, the thing that's like 90% of the tree right there. If we were actually going to get away with eating our Christmas tree, we had to figure out a way to, disguise the fact that you were just eating a bunch of wood. That's why I came back stronger in year 2, grinding the entire thing down into sawdust, making Christmas cookies to try and fool Stephanie into eating as much of the tree as possible. That was a bad idea.
You know, like the first few bites was fine. What is this?
No.
Matt, what is this cookie? I'm getting an uncomfortable feeling in my mouth. It's kind of gritty.
Huh, interesting. It's literal sawdust.
What?
Sure, I'd shown that it
The fact that you didn't tell her was cold-blooded. I wouldn't trust you again after that. When Christmas comes around, look what I made. No, I know somewhere in there's a tree, so leave no.
could be done. It was just that cookies weren't the right recipe. But now, after taking a year to regroup and giving Stephanie's digestive system an extra year to recover, I think we've done it. I think we've cracked the challenge. I think that this year, we're gonna eat a tree. And not only are we gonna eat that tree, we are going to enjoy it.
It is time for us to complete our trilogy of tree eating. Our trilogy, if you will. So this year we actually came in, did some research, shock of all shock, and tried to figure out ways that we can combat a lot of the challenges.
My bad, I don't know, someone calling my phone, messing up everything, my setup.
Trilogy, if you will. So this year we actually came in, did some research, shock of all shock, and tried to figure out ways that we could combat a lot of the challenges that come with eating a tree like this, right? The cellulose, the cell walls, all the things that make this chewy and waxy and unpalatable.
But we're not just eating the wood, we're eating literally every part of that tree. The branches, the needles, the cones, the pollen, all of it disguised into one glorious 3-course meal. Or should I say, a tree-course meal. Man, I am killing it with the puns today. And because it's the holidays, Steph and I aren't gonna be hoarding all this scrumptious spruce to ourselves this year. Oh no, it's the season of giving after all. So we're gonna be throwing a little holiday meal for all the brave members of Team Theorist. So today, in honesty, we're answering 2 major questions. 1, can we manage to make a tree that's good enough to eat? And 2, is our team actually gonna show up for work after being subjected to this episode? Yes, we're gonna find out. No, obviously the biggest challenge that we've had in years past has been, actually eating the tree. The needles are waxy, the wood is woody, pulpy. Even if you attempt to eat it, you're just chewing and chewing and chewing. The cellulose is just difficult for our teeth to work through in a palatable way. But this year, Steph and I came prepared with a secret weapon, freeze drying. Why are we doing it? Well, if you want my honest answer, I've actually been seeing a lot of shorts from the channel Space Age Snacks. Those inflated Oreos that he makes just look delicious. And so I designed an episode of the show that allows me to buy buy a freeze dryer and then use it as a business expense. It's the most honest answer you're gonna get. So with our new addition to the kitchen, we made it a family food
That's honest. It's very honest.
science weekend. Well, some foods wound up doing nothing.
Weird.
Ooh, super weird.
Oh, this is not at all what I expected.
Things like gummies blew up into the size of cheese puffs.
Ooh, lime.
Sour warheads became so intensely sour they became literal weapons of mass destruction.
Oh no.
So what's going on here? Well, you see, freeze drying works via the sublimation of water in the food. In essence, there are 3 stages to the freeze drying process. The first step is freezing. Yeah, it kinda is what it says on the tin. Everything inside the machine is taken to an extremely low temperature, in this case minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which also happens to be minus 40 degrees Celsius. Then, using a vacuum, the freeze dryer lowers the pressure inside the drum, which allows liquids to boil away at lower temperatures. This means that the solid ice can turn into water vapor instantly, completely skipping the entire liquid phase. This is called sublimation. Lastly is the desorption process, which dries out food by raising the temperature slowly and removing the last bits of water left. By removing all the moisture, you actually wind up with a crispy texture, but also you get a super concentrated flavor because there's nothing left watering the whole thing down anymore. Hence why the sour flavors of the warheads were so intense. By doing this to all our evergreen branches and needles, we figured we'd be able to get a lot of tree into each of our dishes. Freeze drying tends to make things brittle, getting us past the big hurdle of cellulose that we struggled with the last 2 times that we tried this test. Thus, for our first course, we wanted to keep things simple. A basic crostini topped with needles, branches, pine cone, and pollen. Real sampler platter of all the tastiest parts of a tree.
So we've got our toasted bread, we've got our freeze-dried branches and needles here, which are gonna give that evergreeny flavor. But then, to truly incorporate some of the more difficult to use items here, we found that, hey, pine pollen is a thing that exists. Why not throw that in? We haven't done that one yet.
We're gonna have a little sprinkle of pine on top, but to hold everything together, you really need some glue to this dish, which is where our pine cone jelly comes in.
Yeah, historically speaking, and even in year 1, this was the one item of the tree that we didn't have a good solution for. If you catch them early in the year, like in the springtime, the pine cones can actually be barbecued and roasted and eaten almost like an ear of corn. But when you're this late in the year, all you're getting is just a big woody cellulosey mess. Like, you can't eat this.
So really, when you have a Christmas tree, you have, by the time we get to December and you are actually using a Christmas tree, which is what the experiment is about, you're not gonna be getting those tender little cones, which means you're gonna have to do something else to kind of soften things up, which is where our pine cone jelly comes in. While not an American delicacy, in other parts of the world, apparently, this is a thing that exists.
Yeah.
And we have procured some from, I'm gonna guess, Russia.
Oh boy, do we have a spoon.
Oh, you know, smell it. It smells good.
It does smell good.
It looks like cough syrup.
Well, there you go. It looks like cough syrup, which is why they recommend using it
As cough syrup.
as cough syrup. In Russia, the tree heal you. Take your medicine, my little youngling.
So weird.
The pine cone, your teeth just pass through it. It's like a boba.
Dude, the pine cones are real soft.
It's very off-putting.
You know how they say that curiosity killed the cat? Well, I think pollen may have also had something to do with that. Let me just say, it was not my friend here.
You don't inhale the pollen.
Oh.
That's the whole point of allergies.
Oh, I just got pollinated all up in my nasal cavity.
No, don't do that.
Why would I not do that?
Because you're not ever meant to just like eat powder like this. That's just not, what are you doing?
You're never
Why
meant
are you
to eat
torturing
powder
yourself?
like this. Listen to your better half. I don't listen to you. All the moisture in my entire body has been zapped away.
Suffice it to say, I was starting to get a bit skeptical after trying out all the components. But once we put it all together, suddenly,
Bro, I was skeptical from the very beginning of this. I'm just waiting to see how bad it comes out.
it was a different story.
We have our sprinkles of pine needles. We have our pine cones, and we have our pine pollen. Really, this is the whole tree on a little toasty.
It's pretty good, actually, as a concept. I don't know how it is as a dish.
Hey. You know, it's not that bad.
Wow.
We're eating pine.
We did it! Oh, this is a win!
Yes.
This is a huge win!
Already we were off to a great start and way better than our previous 2 years of attempts. Despite the individual ingredients being oddly flavored, they wound up balancing each other out really well when combined. It ended up creating this incredibly complex flavor profile, something way greater than just the sum of its parts. Not only had we designed something that incorporated 4 separate parts of the tree into a single bite, but it actually tasted good. Truly, we had a Christmas miracle on our hands.
It could be all downhill from here.
Christmas miracle that we didn't expect to last much longer.
It probably will be all downhill from here, but at least we have a win in our book. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have some nuggets to make.
We figured the best main course option here would be some delicious deep fried nuggets, because let's be honest, anything tastes good when it's deep fried. Or at least that's the theory that we were banking on, because we plan to shove a lot of wood into these things. And I mean, a lot of wood. But don't blame us. Both McDonald's and Burger King have a history of putting wood into their food. Back in 2014, it was found out that they had cellulose listed as one of their ingredients in their nuggets, and they're 2 of the largest, most successful food brands on the planet, so really—
And I think I stopped eating their nuggets from both of those places even before learning that, because it just didn't taste like actual chicken. And then when I learned why, it was like, oh, no wonder.
we're just following in the footsteps of giants, the weirdly large, clown-like footsteps of Ronald McDonald. But Ronald, for all the things wrong with him, he did have one thing on us. He actually knows how to make a nugget.
This is not it, fam. This is not it. Ooh, this is not matching anything right now. This party is not popping, friends.
So we had to come up with some alternate methods.
Put them in the blender instead.
I feel like blender is gonna be our—
blender might be the option here.
The blender would not be better.
It's
Not when
a
it's dry.
pretty quiet blender.
The disappointment of Sam behind the camera is palpable.
Watching it sit stagnant as I hear the blades go, there's something severely wrong. The universe is telling us not to do this.
After a bit more time aboard the old struggle bus, we eventually got into a
The universe told y'all not to do this, yet the video is here, which means y'all followed through. Oh, man.
rhythm. But we came to realize that what we were making, not exactly nuggets.
It is looking a little like hummus, which isn't surprising.
So are we making basically a falafel here? This is kind of like a falafel, right?
It's a holiday falafel.
Oh.
It's a falalalawaffle.
I hate this town. I quit.
Then came time to mix in the wood, and surprising literally no one, except for Santi, who wrote the original recipe that we were trying to follow, wood pulp tends to dry things out, which meant that we had to get creative in the kitchen.
Yeah, go figure. There's no real online recipes for making chicken nuggets or chickpea nuggets or whatever that incorporates wood pulp.
I'm excited to see what our outcome is. Santi wants a full teaspoon of paprika. Santi, are you sure? Can we check Santi's? Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Eventually, Steph and I were able to moisturize the mixture enough to mold it into a nugget shape, and we chose to celebrate via a little dance. Eat your heart out, Addison Rae. For our coating, we dipped our falalalawaffles in a milk and egg wash before covering them in breadcrumbs. There was just one problem with that. All the milk was expired.
That's expired milk.
That's a detective.
Oh yeah? It's fine, thanks.
I mean, it does say the 9, and it is not the 9.
Just want one of those little sunglass effects.
Watch it actually have been sour.
Well, it may not be spoiled because working in grocery stores, I know that the expiration dates are set a little ahead of time to try and get them out faster because they don't want to actually sell it to you spoiled because then they got to give you your money back. So it's usually like, as long as you keep it in the fridge a day or two, or like even sometimes even almost a half a week after the expiration date, that the milk is still actually fine.
The entire time.
Sometimes.
After the camera's cut, she's immediately gonna go behind the house and puke.
Thankfully, she did not go behind the house and puke. So armed with balls of sawdust covered in expired milk, it was time to fry.
Okay.
This looks great.
It does.
It smells great.
It does.
It's gonna taste questionable.
Right?
It's looking
I
very
could not have
questionable.
been more wrong.
It's pretty good.
It kind of works.
It tasted great.
I can't tell that I'm eating sawdust and branches. This is fantastic. I am eating a dish that is mostly wood, and I am liking it. Just goes to show that deep frying covers all sins.
It really does. We have the beans.
So question, do you really think it tastes good, or are they just really just trying to act because you really need to win?
to balance it out. We have a lot of spices in there. There's real food surrounding the wood. It gives a little woody home.
Little buddies to hang out with.
Yeah, I'm so excited for us. Look at us, a successful food theory.
Oh my gosh, it only took us 4 years and 3 episodes. Yes. But I think we finally have the dub.
It's the climax of the trilogy. Let's whip up a couple more of these for our employees and then move on to dessert.
No, nobody saw that. Just like nobody saw Steph and I trying to pickle a bunch of branches over the weekend.
Saw that
We
just
wanted to
because
make a side dish.
The climax of the trilogy. Let's whip up a couple more of these for our employees and then move on to dessert.
No, nobody saw that. Just like nobody saw Steph and I trying to pickle a bunch of branches over the weekend. We wanted to make a side dish for the nuggets. Let's just say it did not go well.
That's a flavor journey.
Never before in my life have 2 stronger flavors been so at war in my mouth. It was like an army of trees fighting a battalion of hot peppers. Needless to say, we did not subject our employees to eating that one. So with that dish just swept under the rug and forgotten about, it was time to move on to ice cream.
All right, ready? Let's make this ice cream before
Okay,
this
so what do we
thing
gotta do?
melts.
Would you like a whisk? I know where in the kitchen those are kept. Here's whisk number 1, but if you're looking for a smaller whisk, boom, there's the smaller whisk down here.
Whoa!
But wait, do you need an even smaller whisk? Boom, teeny whisk. But hold on, maybe you want a third small whisk.
I think at this point you could tell eating a whole lot of tree was starting to wear on me a bit. Luckily, after all the deep frying, air frying, freeze drying, and ice creamifying, we were in the home stretch.
If our team is not hype over this meal that they're about to receive, then they're spoiled.
I wouldn't be.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
With ice cream frozen, the falafels fried, and the crostinis crusted, it was time to serve up our meal. After 3 years, it was finally time to put this tree to rest in our stomachs.
So I think you guys should be familiar with everyone. We got Sam over here.
How do you do?
We've got Rachel in the middle.
Hey.
Nervous and excited.
And we've got new addition, Kai.
Hello.
Yep, have any fun quip or factoid about you, Kai?
My cousin's dating Oprah.
Okay, absolute legendary flex there. Probably the single best opening line anyone's ever gotten across these channels. Anyway, once we got over our collective awe, it was time to eat.
All right, let's start on your left. You're gonna have your appetizer, just the bread and what you see on top of it.
3, 2, 1, bites. No one is immediately retching. I feel like that's a first for food theory.
It's a lovely piece of toasted French baguette topped with a pine cone jam straight from your local Russian farm,
Classic.
sprinkled with freeze-dried pine needles, and topped off with a dash of pine pollen.
With no one stricken with food poisoning or explosive diarrhea, we took it as a win, moved on to dish number 2.
Moving on to course number 2, we've got...
Nobody died, so check mark. Oh, man.
your entree round. We've got a little nugget surprise there for you guys, so you want to just...
A falafel, if you will.
Did you do the nugget voice at any time while making these?
Unfortunately, no. That didn't make an appearance.
Let's take a bite in 3, 2, 1, consume.
Another nice crisp.
Right, nice crisp.
Nice
Good texture right
crunch.
Very crispy.
Crispy, yes.
there. No, not crispy.
Crispy. Crispy.
With the capital KW.
I liked it.
Great.
Great. There he is again.
Sam,
Okay.
3-word reviews over here.
Uh-huh.
I really like it with the sauce. It's nice and crispy. I'm sorry, crispy.
I like that as social media expert, you're obligated to do it in a meme-ish way. Quispy.
Crispy.
Yep.
And with that, it was time for dessert.
So this is gonna be all of us together.
fact.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, enjoy.
What is that flavor?
Vanilla.
It's the flavor of pine.
Not only was the ice cream a hit, Sam literally demolished a second and third helping.
Sam is going hard.
So we got a
This
win.
is awesome.
And the vanilla.
Food Theory actually got a win. I was like, this is gonna be disaster number 3, but they got a win. I don't want to try it really. I'm just skeptical. I'm still just skeptical, but okay.
Offsets a lot of the pininess. You want more?
Go. You can go
Yeah,
for it.
okay, just go
That's
for
a
it.
lot. That's a lot.
Okay.
Kai's like, no. Don't worry, Sam will
He's
take
like,
your bowl.
"Uh-uh."
It's fine.
Right?
Double fisting.
In the end, it truly was a Christmas miracle for Food Theory. After years of failed food experiments on the channel, from bread gloves to prime cake, we finally had an episode where we went 3 for 3. Now, to be fair, not everyone liked every dish. That's to be expected. One thing that stood out was the fact that pine and evergreen are such intense aromatic flavors, especially when they're freeze-dried, that it becomes quite divisive. Where Kai scarfed down the nuggets, Sam wasn't a fan. But the reverse was true with ice cream. It really just goes to show how exceptional of an ingredient this is, and how much depth it can add to something relatively simple like a falafel or vanilla ice cream. But regardless,
and how ridiculous and so many steps you gotta do just to even make it palatable in the first place. Like 4 years, 3 episodes of this. Finally, y'all figured out a win, I guess. I'm still, like I said, I'm still skeptical. I would have to try it, even though I don't really want to. But yeah, I'm still skeptic over here.
In the end, we were finally able to show you that you can absolutely make a full meal out of your Christmas tree. Which means I better not see any trees out on tree lawns come December 26th, my friends. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some more breaded expired sawdust with a side of tree cream to eat. I am starving. Enjoy the holidays, and as always, my friends, remember, it's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
All right. They finally got a win out of this damn tree that they've been trying to eat for the past 4 years. Oh, man. It was a fun ride. They finally got a win, apparently. Well, let me know what y'all think. Would y'all try it? Would y'all try the tree after it's been in these particular recipes? Let me know in the comments. And also, y'all know what to do. Go down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about this whole episode. Let me know what you'd like to see me react to next. Hit that like button before you go. Share this video with everyone you know. And subscribe if you haven't done so already, alright? So, till next time, take care of yourselves. And I'm out of here.